Hello again, lovelies, and welcome back to Mama G Gear. It's Mama G here, and I just want to do another quickie because they're fun too, to show you this how to do this stitch. In case you're interested, I started a hat, and as most of you know, I do the rim, trim or brim, whatever you want to use, first. And that you could see in another video if you're interested, or do whatever kind of rim you want. But I start from bottom up on my hats. And I used the Ice Yarn Baby Summer DK, which is a 3-weight. Does it say the colorway on here? Or maybe it doesn't say colors on here. But anyway, it's purple. And this is a 4-weight yarn, because I mix the weights of yarns and textures of yarns and whatnot, because I just think that's fun. This is a Pound of Love by Lion Brand, and it's a colorway Fern. And I made a blanket out of it, out of several of the colors of the Pound of Love, but I really like the yarn. It's soft, it's sturdy, it's a good true 4-weight yarn. And I decided to use some of this for a hat. So it's all one color. I know most of my stuff is a little more colorful, but I wanted to show you this particular stitch. I don't know whether it is an actual stitch from somewhere or not, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. And I didn't see it anywhere. I just kind of did it myself. And I think I've done this before in another video, like in the Twisted Zebra hat. But I wanted to show you this again. I'm using a 6mm, or I believe it's a J hook. I don't know. It's 6mm. You figure it out. Just deal with it. All right. So just to start with, you want to try to start with an even number, and then you're going to go in and then go backwards. Do a double crochet and then go to the stitch prior to. Okay. And I guess this is why this is an unconventional tutorial. Did I say that? All right, so I've got this stitch here, and I went backwards, so it's twisted. So now I'm going to skip this stitch and go to the next one and do just a regular double crochet. It's really just double crochets. And then cross over to do another double crochet, but I'm going to go back into the stitch behind it and pull it through. That's all the stitch is. And I think it's really pretty. Again, you're going to skip one, go to the next, do a double crochet, cross over and go back into that and go to the one you missed, from back to front, and do another double crochet. And literally there's your stitch. All right. What I did do with this hat, if you're trying to reproduce or recreate the exact looking stitch, is after I did the crossovers, or X stitch, I don't know if there's a name for it. After I did these, I hope I'm not getting blurry on you. I know it takes a minute for the camera to focus. I'm here back at the beginning where I have 2 stitches left. So there's my normal one, and then back into the one I skipped. And then I'm just going to show you this, and then oh, look at that. It's a yarn barf. Hi, yarn barf, if you're watching. Wow, I got quite the tangle there. All right, so now we're back here. So literally, I'm just going to grab into, two of them, like a V stitch. Doesn't make a difference where. And then judge, because I'm going to want to come back. So let's go through another one right next to it. I slip stitched, by the way. Do another slip stitch. And see how this kind of doesn't twist quite as well, but that's just the seam going up. Then chain 2, that shows as my first double. Going to go back to my first slip stitch and create, actually, this is how you start the row. All right, I'm going to pull this out because I'm going to show you something else. But that's how I start the row. All right, and then you would go again, make sure you don't go back into that one, skip the next, and go in and do that. But what I've done in between these stitches, and I'm pulling it right back out to my first slip stitch, and in between each of these twisted rows, I just do a row of single crochet. But being that I'm so far up already on this hat, I want to start to decrease. So I'm going to do on an average of maybe every 6th or whatever, depending on how much of a decrease you want. I just did a double, or I did a decrease single crochet. So I'm decreasing on the single crochet that I'm doing in between these rows. I hope that makes sense. And I don't need to yarn over for that. And then I'll just do like maybe another, whatever, 5 or 6. And then here would be my regular single crochet. Let me do this so you can see better. This would be my single crochet. Instead of going through, I'm going to pick up the next stitch. So now I have 3 on the hook. Go through all 3. And that is a single crochet decrease. Okay? And I literally just kind of go around. If I wanted it to be more of a decrease in the top, I would literally just put more of these decrease stitches. Technically, I should have kind of counted so that I end up on an even number. But if I don't, it's not a big deal. I'll just fudge it in the beginning, like I do. But yeah, this is what this is. And this is pretty much, I'll do this and then I'll do another row of that X stitch. Then I'll decrease again with the chain. And it'll come to a nice, you could make it a smooth decrease and make it more of a poofy hat on the back, a slouch hat. Or you could make it a quicker decrease where it would fit more on your head like a cap. All right? So I wanted to make this kind of quick for you, but I did want to show you before I finish the hat, because I'm often doing projects and then I don't show them to you, or I don't show you how I'm doing them. And then you guys see them and you'll say, hey, how'd you do that? Then I have to make another one. So this one I just figured I'd show you as I'm going. All right, so I'm back to, here's where I started. I didn't put a stitch marker because I know, but if you want to put a stitch marker prior to. So I've got one more stitch here. And then I'm going to skip over this one, go into this one, and do a slip. All right, so now I'm back to where I was, and I'm going to this next stitch because I want to be on that side of the crossover. And I'm going to do a slip stitch, chain, you could chain 3 if you'd like, chain 2 or 3, and now I'm going to go back to my same, the same stitch, or the one before it, my bad. You can go to either, really, to be honest with you. And then now I'm starting this row doing the crossovers, and I'll check it to make sure that the stitches are lining up. And if they're not lining up, I just back it off a little. But does it look like it's lining up? I hope it doesn't. Actually, this one is not lining up. See how, sorry, there's green behind. This should be right up top. And it looks like it's in between those two, which technically is fine because it's a cap of the hat, the top of the hat. So it's not a big deal. But if you're doing it in the stitch. So let's back this up. This is good. I like when this stuff happens because it allows me to show you how I, fudge things or fix it. All right, so that was a little bit too much. So I'm going to try that again. Slip stitch. 2, I'm going to go back like I was. Let's see, this is kind of what I was doing before. So let's see. And that looked like it lined up there. So here is where I had the problem with the lineup. Maybe I needed to just keep going and it would have balanced out. For some reason, it looks like it's lining up better. I don't know. Well, worst case scenario, you do a few of them and then you look at it, and if it doesn't look right, you frog it out and start over again. Not a big deal. Yeah, it looks like it might be lining up. Anyway, we got to remember I did decrease, So it's going to throw off this pattern. So like right here, I decreased, and if I double it, if I go, I'm going to be ended up over here. So there, let's see, how can we fix that? Let's just skip this one. I think when you're doing this stitch as you're going up and decreasing, I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to have to, yeah, obviously that makes sense now. I'm sorry, my brain is fried today. Not sleeping very well, but just fried in general. All right, so I guess for the top, again, I don't edit, so you see in real time how the brain processes. I'm just going to go around and finish this row without worrying about it lining up, because I did do that decrease. So they're not going to obviously line up. And probably a lot of you were screaming that at me while I was trying to line it up and saying, you can't do that. Don't go into the water. There's sharks. All right, so yeah. So then I'm going to do this, do another row of chain stitches, or single crochets, I'm sorry. And then just do these again until I get to my desired. I want this to be a little bit slouchy. That's why I went up so high. So it'll be a little bit poofy on the top. And if you make it poofy enough, you could, if you have a lot of hair, you could stick your hair up right into the top, into the hat, into the back of the hat. But yeah, so that's it. I actually spent more time on here than I wanted to. I'm already over 10 minutes, so I'm gonna let you go. Just keep doing this, and then of course, if you're not sure how to finish it off, you get to a desired hole. Tie the end up, slip knot, pull through to make a knot. Thread your darning needle. I always go through the back of the V stitch, and I weave from front to back in the back stitch. Then I come back the other direction in the back stitch and go in this direction in the back and weave it back and forth only in the back stitch. I don't do both, because I find that clumps up. If the hole's too big, it clumps. It's too much yarn to make it a nice tight, top tight. Where if you do it through both, sometimes you'll end up with a little bit hole on top, which is fine if you're going to put a pom-pom or something. But if you don't want that look, that's what I do to rectify that. But anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hey, give it a thumbs up even if you didn't, just because you like me. And if you don't like me, don't watch anymore. I'm joking. Please do like me, because I would be really upset if you didn't. All right, guys, I'm joking with you. Anyway, love you. Have a yarnalicious day, because nothing matters anyway. Bye-bye for now.